Joel, it seems like every month when we talk to you, you have like a new role or a new position on the pitch. When Marco came to you with this idea of playing in like maybe a more of a like freedom position, what did you think of it, and how did it feel on the pitch last Saturday?
Yeah, I was excited. I think you could see I was almost maybe a bit too excited in the first half there. I had the most sprints out of I think any player, so which all came a lot in the first half because I was excited to get forward and kind of help the team in that way too. But I was excited. Obviously, I used to be a midfielder before I was a center back, so being involved in the play more was a lot of fun, especially in the second half where I thought we played through them. Obviously, they play a full 4-2, so it's hard to break down. So he wanted an extra midfielder in there to kind of give them something different. So, yeah, no, I was excited and I thought it worked well. Obviously we couldn't put the finishing touches on what we were trying to do, but I thought we were good in a lot of areas and we played really, really well. So I think that's what makes it sting a little bit more is we played well and we executed what we wanted to execute, but we just couldn't get the job done. So hopefully, we can change things around against Orlando this weekend.
I've heard in the past, and correct me if I'm wrong, that after Toronto, Orlando is maybe one of the teams that CF Montreal dislikes the most. Is that true? And if it's true, why is that? Like, why Orlando?
I think it goes back to our preseason game this year got pretty heated too. I think it goes back to probably 2021, 2022, and I think we had them in the playoffs a couple of times, and we had them at home. And I don't think there's a strong dislike there. I think it's just certain teams have that certain energy and that certain vibe, and we like to play against Orlando, and it goes back and forth too. Obviously, the results go back and forth, and usually the games are pretty entertaining. So, yeah, maybe that's why. But yeah, I mean, if there's a little bit of that in the game, we'll be all for it.
You're still looking for your first win, but it seems like the morale is much better than it was a couple of weeks ago. But is there still a little bit of lack of confidence in the final third or something like that?
I don't think it's a lack of confidence. I think we're creating lots of chances. I think it's just about putting them away. So that's important for us, just to keep shooting, keep creating. That's the most important thing, and sooner or later the goals will come. So I don't think it's a lack of confidence right now. I think it's still getting used to obviously what Marco wants and his philosophy and his tactics. And obviously you've seen in the games it's worked really, really well, and we enjoy playing in that system. So it's only a matter of time.
We can hop over to questions on Zoom.
Hi, Joel. You talked about being inverted a little bit, which I agree. I think it went well, but the other side of that coin was the right back defending, which looked like I think there was some difficult spots there. You talk about maybe just marrying the two, where in possession you looked a bit comfortable, but looked at right back, maybe there's still some growing pains there.
Yeah, I don't think it was growing pains. I think it was just getting used to the position. I think, like I said, in the first half, I think I was a little bit too excited to get forward and play that role, and forgot a couple of times that I was a right back, and that guy was smart and he would play on my shoulder and wait until we lost the ball and they planned to play on the counterattack. So yeah, I definitely learned. In the second half, he didn't really have much. So that'll come with time, and if obviously we decide to play like that again, but. Yeah, I don't think it was growing pains necessarily. I think it was just, obviously you risk some stuff and there's a greater reward. So, but yeah, finding the balance was important for me in that game.
Hi, Joel. Do you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I just wanted to have the feeling of the team coming into the game on Saturday and the urgency to get that first win under your belt as a team.
I think we're optimistic. We talked this week about mentality, and we can't lose that. It's easy to get frustrated in times like this, but it's up to guys in the locker room. It's up to Marco. It's up to us to keep the mentality strong, and it has been this week. We've obviously had a great week of training again, so we're just waiting for the page to turn and the next chapter to come. And that's football sometimes, when you try everything and you play well and you're just not getting results, and it's frustrating. And we really, really want to win games and get ourselves back in the race. So, yeah, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of urgency, but we're calm and we're collected, and we know we have a good team that we can make up the ground in some areas. So, yeah, no, we're optimistic and the morale is still good.
Yes, follow-up question, Michel.
Thank you, Pat. What kind of game do you expect against a team that hasn't given up a goal in their last 2 games, but I don't think they've scored either as well? What kind of game do you expect against Orlando on Saturday?
Yeah, they're a good team. Obviously sound defensively. Their front four is really, really good. They can create a lot of chances. They don't really have positions. They kind of go everywhere, and they all love to be on the ball. So it's going to be tricky for us to communicate and find that balance of defending, but also going forward too. And like I was saying to him, it's always a great game against Orlando, and we expect a really, really tough game.
Michel, good?
Yeah.
Elias?
Yeah, Joel. After the game, Sam said that he would rather have played the way you guys did, where you dominate everything and just, doesn't work out in the end, than play like Charlotte, where you just don't really play for anything and then hop on maybe one chance. I want to know what you kind of felt about that statement, and at what point, does the beautiful football maybe need to be a bit more pragmatic in getting a result?
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously, every team in this league has a different way of and different style of playing. Obviously, like I said, Charlotte sit back in a 4-4-2, and obviously their coaches have had success in obviously the Premier League and success in this league thus far. So, for me personally, I'd rather play a little bit more football, but that's the way we do things here. That's our philosophy, and it is what it is. But I think it's important to find, obviously, like you said, that philosophy and playing good football, but also getting results. I think that's the toughest part. Those are the greatest teams in my eyes that have that type of philosophy and can also win. So, I think at times we could be a little bit more pragmatic, but we have the guys that play the style and the way we want to play football. We're not going to change that for anybody. So, we're confident in Marco's tactics and in our philosophy and the way we do things, and sooner or later it's going to turn into results.
Kaden, where would you say your confidence is at right now? Is it getting better?
Yeah, I think I'm in a good place. It just feels like some things, like, of course, scoring goals and these things, like, we're a little bit too early in some spaces and moments, and a little bit too late, and the final click isn't there, or wasn't there last game, but hoping to change that this game.
And to find that final click, is there something you can do during training? Or is it just like a matter of sometimes luck is on your side or stuff like that?
Yeah, you don't want to leave it to luck, but I feel like you do the right things, it'll come your way. Just been unfortunate, to be honest. I think Nashville, the lights don't go off, and if maybe Bryce hits that a little better because the lights are on, he scores, or it came to me, I was onside, I scored, and then Columbus, just barely offside. So just feels like we're a little bit off on those moments that could really be game changers for the team and for myself, and just looking to create a little bit of momentum.
A couple of key players came back from injury during last game. I don't think he had a chance to be on the pitch with Vrioni in last match, but what do you think of maybe the possibility of playing with Vrioni, with Sinchuk and those guys?
Yeah, I'm excited. When Vrioni was in training, we linked up very well, and has a profile that I think our game is kind of alike and can see similar things. So I'm excited to hopefully get the opportunity with him soon to play and to show everyone. We can hop over to questions on Zoom.
Thank you, Tristan. Any questions here? Yes, Maxime Truman.
Hi, Kaden. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thanks for doing this. You told us a month ago under Laurent Courtois that your position no longer seemed to exist in the team's tactical scheme. Do you consider that there is now a perfect position for you in the Marco Donadel's lineup? And if so, what's that position, please?
Yeah, I think there's obviously a number 10 in there. There's also a left wing that has freedom to come in and kind of be another 10 or to stay wide in some moments, depending on when the outside back gets high or stays low or goes inside. So there's a lot of flexibility within that. It's just kind of just using my strengths, and if I'm playing at the 10, it's okay, how can I maximize this? And when I'm on the wing, it's as well, how can I be more fluid and and read those moments well to come inside or stay wide and be effective.
Michel Lamarche.
Hi, Caden. I just want to know how close do you think if, as a team you're close to that first win, and what do you need to do as a team to get that first win and start a winning streak?
Yeah, I think finish our chances. It's pretty clear. We could have many points right now and a couple wins. So I don't think it's a lack of creating chances or getting in the right spots or these little things. I think we're pushing hard. We're training hard. We're not playing bad at all. We're not playing great, but we're not playing bad. And that's kind of how I feel with myself is I'm not playing at my best, but I'm certainly not playing bad. And it's just what else can we do to get to that final push? It's not a lack of effort or mindset. It's kind of just don't get tied into this mindset of we haven't won a game, so it doesn't matter if we win one or, So I think we kind of have to get that final push, and it will come together for us, but we can't get in the mindset of just expecting to lose every game.
Thank you.
Elias.
Merci, Pat. Hi, Caden. Last year when things were going real well, you were talking about how much you were enjoying your football and how much you felt like, you were really just, it was all organic out there. You mentioned that maybe it was not necessarily the case at the beginning of the season, but now under Marco with a bit more of a fluid system and a bit more open, how do you feel about just the enjoyment level of your game?
Yeah, I think we still have a long way to go. I think when you're thinking about what you have to do on the field, it's a problem. And I feel like I'm thinking a little bit too much, or not too much. I'm thinking a little bit right now. And it just takes time, and we're running out of time. So something's got to click here, and you got to have some magic moments, which we're all capable of doing. And I hope to bring that to the team. But certainly something's got to get clicking here, or else we're going to be in a bad spot. So, it's been a little tough moment and not enjoying this football as much. And it's not as organic, but that's how it goes sometimes. And it's what you do in those situations to get out of it. And I feel like I've gotten out of many situations before, so this is nothing new to me. So it's just it's a battle, but been here before, so definitely can get out of it.
Marco, on vient juste d'apprendre là, que Giacomo est out pour demain. Est-ce que c'est quelque chose qui est arrivé durant l'entraînement? Est-ce que c'est une action?
Yes, la semaine dernière, il avait un mauvais coup à le genou avec un tackle contre Duke. But nous pensons qu'il a été seulement un mauvais coup. Mais il voulait aussi venir avec nous à la partie parce que après toutes ces semaines out, he wanted really to come with us with this pain, and then the pain continued. So he had some exam, nothing clear, nothing great, but the pain we need to respect his pain and this moment, and we'll see next week.
Je ne sais pas si on t'en a parlé après le match, des débuts de Hennady Sinchuk. Qu'est-ce que tu as aimé? Qu'est-ce qui t'a impressionné peut-être chez ce joueur-là qui est encore très jeune, qui semblait avoir bien fait quand même?
Well, nothing during the game because we saw him during the field, and it was another situation difficult to manage because we knew his quality. We need to respect also his age and his potential for the future, so for the club. And he had some little discomfort in the hip at the beginning, and he adapted immediately well. He's a super smart guy. He can understand everything we ask, and he showed immediately in his first game in this league. So it's not easy to adapt immediately. He seemed a bit more like a first game of another little guy, the Canadian, same area. And I think that, this kind of energy, this kind of freshness, mentally freshness we need in this moment, because all the other players that has experience, also experience means thinking about the points we have, all the game we played away, and and then just go in the field every day and just enjoy to play football. It's a good feeling.
Pour toi demain, est-ce qu'un bon match, c'est la même chose que la semaine dernière, mais juste en marquant plus de buts? Est-ce que c'est ça la différence?
Tous les matchs sont différents, comme j'ai déjà dit, mais ces matchs, c'est difficile, comme Charlotte. Nous avons préparé les matchs in a good way against Charlotte and against also Orlando, I think. We prepare everything, but then it's all about momentum. Like I said, we need a bit of bonne chance pour changer a bit les énergies. Nous avons besoin de positive energy. I asked this last week, and the guys did everything they could on the field, and we just need the momentum, I think, and then everything's going to be much better.
On va pouvoir passer aux questions sur le Zoom.
Merci. Est-ce qu'il y a des mains levées? Oui, Michel Lamarche.
I'll go in English. Hi, Marco. Michel Lamarche from the Canadian Press. From what you've seen the last couple of days and following the game in Montreal last week, where do you think is the state of mind of your players going through that slump so far this season? And do you think you're close to that first win?
But I think also from the first game, Chicago, that we were close. I wouldn't expect during the game that kind of performance in Chicago because we just trained three days, so 3 hours with the guys on the field. It's not a lot, but they show immediately this kind of energy. And your question is really, really a key question because right now it's all about their energy, their believing. And yes, I feel the same way like last week. The guys are really pushing. They believe in this process. They believe how they are playing. They believe that playing this way, it's really exploiting all their potential. And that's it. Or probably they have much more experience than me, some of them, about this league, that we can win in any moment, in any game, and we are waiting that moment. But we can also lose when we deserve the point. So I wasn't so ready about that, so probably I forgot this. But, in Europe it's more, when you have a lot of data for you and you prepare the game well and you are, really creating a lot of chances and situations, usually, you get some points. But we need to continue. We need the positive energy, like I said before. This is the most important thing for us. So I'm trying to give this to them, but sometimes it's also them that give me this.
Elias?
Merci, Pat. Hi, Marco. I wanted to ask you about Prince because, he's been doing good things, but unfortunately, maybe the lack of finish can and will color the performance in maybe a different light. Have you spoken with him, especially over the course of the last week, and how do you handle a player who is doing the right things but seems to just have maybe a lack of confidence in front of goal?
Well, there's nothing to handle in this situation, and this I'm very, very confident about this. It's all about this sport is like that, especially for keeper, especially for striker. They live for the goal, and he's really doing an amazing job for us. On ball and without the ball, it's really our reference in front, our target. They help us to exit sometime from pressure. So you saw the incredible job he's doing, and the confidence in the box is just about momentum. We know that it's like that for every striker, and just continue. I don't have to tell him anything. He knows, and everybody knows his quality. So it's not a problem right now to fix for him. It's not a problem.
Maxime Trouman?
Salut Marco, merci de prendre le temps. On a un petit update sur Vrioni. Qu'est-ce qui se passe avec Jalen Neal? Est-ce qu'on est inquiet à long terme ou c'est juste un peu de précaution, s'il vous plaît?
C'est la même chose. Il avait une mauvaise coupe on the chest here, and with beaucoup de douleur. He tried to stay on the field, but it's just too painful. And because also right now we have a full roster on the field, and I need to respect also the players that are pushing. So for me, right now, especially in the Friday, if a player is not 100% or 90%, I mean, it's difficult to take another one off the bench just to try, you know what I mean. So it's just a very bad hit and very painful, and that's it.